What's going on, everyone? So the hits keep coming for the Los Angeles Lakers. The NBA draft is over, and the Lakers moved into undrafted free agency, and they got Eric Dixon. Now, Eric Dixon not only is the best scorer in all of college basketball last year by like a good margin, but was also in many mock drafts the guy that the Lakers were going to take with the 55th pick. So the fact that they were able to get him for free is fantastic. And Eric Dixon arguably is the most NBA-ready player in this draft. You're talking about a guy that already has NBA-level shooting, scoring, defense, rebound, everything. He personally reminds me very much of like a Julius Randle type, right? He could be if the Lakers end up trading Rui Hachimura, he could kind of be our Rui Hachimura replacement off the bench. I think this is great for both sides, though, genuinely. I think this is great for Eric Dixon, and I think this is great for the Lakers because the Lakers get another sizable 3-and-D wing that can play multiple positions that you can slot in, even go small ball. He's big, he's strong, he's physical. Talking about a guy that's 6'8", 260, 265. Right, so he's a guy that you could play small ball if you wanted to at the small ball center position. He's a guy that, again, I think can come in and be an NBA level scorer, legit NBA level scorer. He's got a 6'11", almost 7 foot, 6'11.5. So basically 7 foot wingspan. He's got an 8 foot standing reach with a 28 no step vertical and a 32.5 max vertical. So he's got a little bit of athleticism. He's not like, a hyper athlete. Like Darrow is like 41% vert. But for a 6'8", 260 sizable big man, imagine Day'Ron Sharp, but could score at all three levels, right? Like, that's what you're getting in Eric Dixon. He's 24 years old, so he's older. Lakers have had a lot of success with these older guys coming out of the draft. He will be 25 midway through the season next year in January. But again, he's a guy that is NBA ready now. And that's the difference, right? Talk about a guy that can come in. Like, if this was a guy that needed 2, 3, 4 years of development, it'd be like, this guy, this guy's probably not making it long on the roster, right? No, this is a guy that, like, genuinely, the only reason he went undrafted is because he's 24 years old and soon to be 25. If he was 20, he would have went in the first round. He might have even been a top 10, 15 pick in the draft if he was that. But you look at what he did last year, 23.3 points, 5 rebounds, and 19 assists. On top of that, right, it's a guy that played all 5 years with Villanova, right? Last year, 35 games played, averaged 35 minutes per game, 17.1 field goal attempts, shot 45.1% from the field, shot 41% from three-point range on 7.2 attempts. 7.2 attempts, shot 41% from three-point range. He is already an NBA-level shooter, right? They also might have just gotten their Dalton Connect replacement. Just saying. In all honesty, they might have just gotten the Dalton Connect replacement. But from two-point range, shot 48.3% on 9.8 attempts. Free throw shooting, 81.3% on 6.1 attempts. Great free throw shooter. Rebounding, averaged 5 rebounds, which was actually the lowest of the previous year. He averaged 6.4, 6.6, 6.5, but he was 5.1. 2 assists, a steal, half a block, and 23.3 points per game. Now, ideally, this is a guy that you're slotting in as your 4, right? Like, could he slot in at the 3 at times? Sure, but he's probably best as your 4. He's a guy that you're looking at to kind of come in, slot in, in a backup for like LeBron James or whatnot, play your small ball 5 at times because he does have the physicality, size, and girth to bang with the big boys. Again, this is a guy that I'm super stoked on. Again, this is a guy that the Lakers could have drafted him in the second round and it would have been justified. Like, genuinely. I don't know about the 36th pick when they got 36th pick, but even like the 45th pick, if they would have drafted him with the 45th pick, I don't think anyone would have been like, what are the Lakers doing? Everyone would have been like, dude, they might have just gotten the best, like, ready now prospect in the entire draft for a team that's looking to do that right now. And the fact that he led all of college basketball last season and went undrafted is a huge win for a team like the Lakers. But kind of go over his pros and cons, right? So his weaknesses, defensive rating, rebounds, defensive win shares, draft age, right? Anybody over the age of 20 always gets the draft age red flag. Defensive rebounds, blocks, defensive BPM, offensive rebounds, 2-point percentage, field goal percentage, free throw attempt rate, and steals. So again, let's go over the pros and then let's go over the cons and then we'll jump into the pros, right? But defensive rating, I do think he has the tools to be a good defender. I don't think he's going to be like an elite defender or anything like that. Again, he's probably going to be a Julius Randle type. He's very reminiscent of Julius Randle to me personally, right? Big, strong, physical, can put his head down, get to the basket, kind of run people over, bully people, but also stretch the floor. I think he's a better shooter than Julius Randle, but, kind of that mold. Right? You think of, a Day'Ron Sharpe. Day'Ron Sharpe's a better rebounder, without a doubt, and you could argue better defender, but he's a better offensive player, but very similar in like size, length, things like that. He's a guy that I'd look at as like a floor stretching big in like a small ball lineup, or slotted in playing the 4. I think he'd be fine as like a help defender, right? He can defend, I think, 4s, like slower 4s in the NBA. I think he'll be fine in the defensive regard. Also, it helps when you have other defensive players around you, right? Like, if he's there as just like the sole defender, then he's probably getting cooked, right? But also, look, Lakers bench was awful. They were one of the worst benches on the basketball, right? They couldn't score. Like, no one on the bench could score. Dixon by himself might change some of those issues with the Lakers bench. This is a great pick. Like, I'm like genuinely excited about this as far as like an undrafted goes, right? Especially because he got there earlier. But rebounds, I think he'll be fine rebounding the basketball. Right, him taking so many threes, it's hard to generate a bunch of rebounds and whatnot. No, it's hard to. He's a guy that is out there defending on the perimeter. Like, just the role in which he played with Villanova, I think also led to him and his lack of rebounding, which again wasn't terrible. Like, he wasn't god. Oh, he's 5 rebounds, right, for like a power forward. If he can come in and give you 6 to 7 rebounds a game, then that's fine. Look at like Rui Hachimura's never been a great rebounder, but. Defensive win shares, that goes into the defensive rating. Defensive rebounds, again, like I mentioned, as rebounds and defensive rebounds. But again, it's kind of hard to get 10 rebounds when you're taking 7 threes a game, right? Like, unless you're getting the long ball rebounds. Defensive BPM, like I said, that all I think will get worked out once he gets to the NBA. Offensive rebounds, again, same thing. Kind of hard to get offensive rebounds when you're taking 7 threes a game. 2-point percentage. He was mostly at the rim or 3, pick and pop type guy, right? So again, when you're taking 9 attempts and 5 of them are in the mid range, you're gonna have some misses. And again, he wasn't bad shooting from 2-point range, right? He had a total field goal percent 45% from the field. So again, I'm totally okay with that. But free throw attempt rate, again, I don't think is a big deal. Excellent free throw shooter. Kind of hard to generate a bunch of free throws when you're taking 7 threes a game. So all of these issues, I don't really think are issues. All of these issues I look at as like, it's the type of role he played at Villanova, and it's all like rebounding issues, and it's all like, lack of free throws. And it's like, well, yeah, when you're taking 7 threes a game, you're not going to get a bunch of offensive rebounds. You're not going to, you're not going to, have like the greatest field goal percentage. And, so again, it's just things like that. I think it will be fine. You look at the pros, projected NBA 3-point percentage. He's looked at as already made NBA level 3-point shooter. And I fully believe that he is. I think he is a legit NBA level 3-point shooter. Points, like I said, he led all of college basketball in points per game. So obviously points are going to be that free throw percentage. Excellent free throw shooter. Offensive BPM, fouls, right? He's good at not fouling, right? Which is key. Defending without fouling, right? So, if he can defend again, I'm not expecting him to be elite. I'm not expecting anything like that. He can't be much worse than Rui Hachimura. Although, to Rui's credit, he has been better as far as like, defending out on the perimeter better, but he's just so slow-footed. Offensive win shares, impacts winning, and then 3-point percentage. Like I said, he was 41% from 3-point range. Again, this is a guy, 260, 6'8", and 6'8.75 was what he measured at with a 6'11 and a half wingspan. So again, just under a 7-foot wingspan, 6'9 with shoes. Talking about a 6'9 guy with a 7-foot wingspan that, again, I do think is probably best at the power forward position. I think he's a guy that can do the hustle plays, do the dirty work. He's going to grind. He's going to work hard. He's going to play the role that's necessary. I think on the Lakers, he will be an ideal fit playing alongside Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves. I think the Lakers are one of the best places that he could have went. And I also think that, the Lakers did a really good job of just acquiring him at this time. I'm very excited about Eric. I think he's a guy that, again, I think the Lakers did a really good job with this draft, right? The fact that they got Thero come in, NBA ready as far as defense goes, like an NBA defensive piece, and then to bring in an Eric Dixon, who I think can slot in 3 through 5 for you, give you just like that versatile two-way guy. I think they did a really good job. I know people want a center. I'm not really worried about it. Again, I think a lot of that has to do with just they're gonna go get a center in during the trade deadline, or during this offseason via trade. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out as we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.